welcome to Behind the Spotlight. I'm Crystle Lampitt, and thanks for joining us for this special Middle of the Map version. We're here at Californo's in Westport, where Middle of the Map is happening right now. And I'm here with Janky. Thanks, guys, so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
So, Middle of the Map, kind of a big deal. How did you guys first get involved with it?
Since we're local to the area, there's a lot of local groups that are playing, so that's kind of how we got involved with it. Nothing special.
No exciting story.
No.
And the name Janky, I know there's some long, complicated story, but give us the TV bite version. Where did the name come from?
Urban Dictionary with a different spelling.
Oh.
I use it as a fail-safe in case something bad happens. It's like, well, I had that cable hooked up and it was kind of janky.
It was kind of janky. That's how I use janky. I mean, that's what I've always...
Or, a different version of a song or something messes up at the end. It's always janky.
It was kind of janky. Tell us about sort of some of your inspiration. I know you kind of described your music as otherworldly and kind of weird. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Mystical and otherworldly.
Mystical and otherworldly.
I read today that our universe may be inside a massive black hole. I don't know if that's true, but I like mystical stuff like that,
So that
don't have all the answers, do we?
You feel like that inspires some of your guys' work?
Yeah.
Some of your writing?
I don't think it's anything we ever really specifically talked about.
Yeah.
Like, as a group, we just all collectively, well, first of all, we hang out. So if you hang out with each other before you play music, clearly there's something in common. So it just all kind of fits together. Our line of thinking, at least.
Well, did it develop organically like that, or was it we all have different styles and interpretations and inspirations, and then you kind of had to mesh it all?
We all like a lot of the same stuff.
That's nice.
A big percentage of what we all like.
So it went pretty smoothly then.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been together as a band?
I think as a band, maybe like going on close to 2 years, but we've been together kind of writing music for about 3. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. What about future goals? Where do you see yourselves going 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
Releasing a lot of music.
Yeah.
That we try and make as good as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe people will hear that and want to jump on board the Janky team.
The Janky Train.
Yeah, Janky Train. I like that.
That needs to be an album title. You guys need to jump on the Janky Train. It's kind of faulty, a little rickety, but it's the Janky Train.
I like it.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about some of the new music that you are working on. You're working on. You have had an EP released, but now you've got some new singles out. Tell us about the style, the influence, and what you hope people get out of it.
Well, in January we came out with a song called "The Timing and the Spaces," and it's kind of a sonic, they're all sonic smorgasbord. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Smorgasbords.
But it's a more aggressive song, kind of intense. Everybody's singing on it.
Talk about Middle of the Map a little bit. I mean, what do you see it bringing to the community?
I think getting into bands they haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Everyone's meeting new people, getting to play to new people. It's exposing a lot of artists to new fans, I guess.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's brought in a lot of fans for you guys?
I'm not sure yet.
Not sure how you can tell. Well, that's true.
Middle of the map,
this is your
so
first one.
we'll see. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I think, especially tonight, and it's not just because that we're on the bill, but we have friends in these other bands that are playing tonight, and we're really excited to be playing with them and getting to be fans of the bands that we know. So.
Oh yeah, you get to experience both sides.
Yeah, tonight's really a night that if I wasn't, or we weren't playing, that I would definitely come see. So.
Nice.
I'm not pushing our set at all. I really am excited about the bands we're playing with tonight. So.
That's nice to have
Yeah.
people that you admire. How about for those who are just getting started, maybe thinking about joining a band, creating a band, what advice would you give to a newbie in the music world?
Oh man.
Quirks are good. Be nice to weird people. It's good to have at least a couple people in the band that have OCD.
To kind of what, like run the show a little?
No, just so you don't overlook things, you know. If you've got
Oh,
a bunch
gotcha.
of sloppy, lazy people in one band.
If you're confident in what you're doing, don't listen to anyone else.
Yeah.
I think that's good
Okay.
advice.
In terms of your style and what you're
Yeah,
presenting.
but you have to be sold like 100% that you think that what you're doing is, and not about being like I don't know how to say this, like super famous or anything. If you actually like your art and what you're doing, it's art. It's not about other things. Other things come with the art, but art specifically, if you're confident in your work and do well and work hard at it, everything else will follow. Like you'll get people to listen to your music because they're sharing what you're putting out. So
I will
Makes
also
sense,
say
yeah.
don't listen to one style of music if you're making music. Because you
Okay.
want something
You
to
want
be
some
fresh.
influence.
You
You want a
want people to
smorgasbord.
recognize
Smorgasbord.
who they're
Smorg-
listening to
a
as soon as they
smorgasbord.
start hearing it.
And you need to jump on the janky train as well. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't go anywhere. We've got more bands coming up for you for our special Middle of the Map episode.
Running through the afternoon, holding hands, away we went.
Welcome back to Behind the Spotlight here at Californo's, this time with Emmeline Twist. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So, Emmeline Twist, tell us the story behind the name, the band name.
Oh, it's an interesting one. So it's a riff on a name that I heard by accident when I was working from home one day and had seen an article about a mansion in the Northeast that was owned by Judge and Emmeline Twist, and I misheard it. And I
Okay.
said, Emmeline Twist, wow, that's the coolest name ever. And then I never heard it again. I couldn't find it because I had misheard
So is it Emmeline or Emmeline?
It's Emmeline,
Okay.
but you can say Emmeline.
Emmeline.
I said it wrong.
No,
It helps
that's
if you
cool.
say it with a twang.
Emmeline
Yep,
Twist.
Emmeline, or if you like.
With Kristoff.
Exactly.
And Meredith.
And Meredith, exactly.
Yeah, mine's a little more
I just
standard.
like to butcher people's names.
That's cool.
Okay,
You know,
continue the story.
And it was basically, it just sounded old and dark and scary, like some kind of Victorian nightmare name.
Yeah, we're
And-
pretty old, dark, and scary.
That's true.
I
So-
see that. I see that.
Yeah.
And the ironic thing about this is that as a duo, you're really quite a comedy duo. You guys are funny and silly and goofy.
Let's take this on the road.
We should, you know,
I'm
if we
yeah.
can't make it with music.
If the music doesn't work out, but the music is very different.
Yes.
It's kind of darker.
Yeah, I mean, well, we started the band, Christoph's actually been coming into the coffee shop where I work for a long time.
And which coffee shop is that?
The filling station.
The filling station. You must visit Meredith there.
And we always had sort of bonded over a love of post-punk and shoegaze. And one day he just came in and said, hey, do you want to start a post-punk shoegaze kind of a project? And I
Okay.
said, absolutely.
Shoegaze. Explain.
So
give
that
this to the man.
is a descriptive title that came about for a set of bands that happened in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, that had a very dense, big sound. So atmospheric rock is another way to
Okay.
describe it. So it's very dreamy and rock and ethereal all at the same time, but it has an edge to it. So it's not just lightweight and frivolous. It's actually very rockin'. And so there is sort of a resurgence of that happening right now. In that type
Interesting.
with that type of sound. And so we just kind of
jumped
happened
on
to-
it.
Well, sort of. We wanted to do
Or
it just
brought it
because
back. Yeah.
I think it was more of that.
More of that.
Yeah, and so luckily the people have rediscovered the sound, and it's been received really well here in town when we've played out, and we love doing it.
Atmospheric rock it sounds more familiar.
Right.
I've not heard shoegaze,
Yeah.
so we're learning something new here.
There you go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, and all of those sort of terms for
Yeah, genres.
genres are kind of, to some degree a little bit arbitrary.
They are.
Yeah.
No, and that is something that I kind of struggle with sometimes. Is like I hate to put anyone in a box
Right.
because everyone is trying to have a different sound, and everyone does have a unique
Right.
I
sound.
hate labels, man.
Yeah, come on, like
Exactly.
we're so emo up
Right.
in here.
But it's a good starting point. When we say we're influenced by shoegaze bands, people are like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
so Slow Dive and My Bloody Valentine. and
Right.
they make those connections, but we sound much more current or different because
Sure.
we put our own spin on it.
Well, people like what they know,
Right.
and so it does give you some, like an identifying factor
Precisely.
in that way.
Yep.
So you guys have been a band for just a year, fairly new.
Yep.
About
Yeah.
a year.
Just over a
performing.
year.
Where do you see yourselves going in the future?
Oh, hopefully the possibilities are endless, and as we said before, if the music doesn't work out, comedy.
Comedy duo, rough and,
coffee,
tumble.
Exactly. Ooh, boy. We could be our own opening act.
Oh God.
The other two band members will have to be like prop artists or something.
I mean, I feel like
They
John
can
would
just
be
be
a
your
great
crew.
straight man. So
Yeah, he's good for that. And Kristen, too, but
They can, they can carry your equipment and your
that
props
works.
and stuff,
Exactly.
right?
That all works.
Don't ever tell him we said.
Yeah. I can see this.
What about your involvement in Middle of the Map? How exciting is that?
That's amazing. We're completely honored to be asked to be involved with so many other great bands. Just tonight alone, there are so many of my favorite local acts, and it's pretty special to be included in that lineup.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's fun to play on the first night, too, because the energy's really high and everybody's really excited to get off work and show up and see great stuff around town, and the weather's gotten better.
Yeah, it's finally stopped
So,
raining.
especially since we're playing outside of Californo's. So
Yeah, exactly. I know. I was worried about that. I was like, oh god,
Yep.
people going to be trying to dart from building to building.
that's right.
So tell us about your new project. I know you've got EP in the works.
You?
So when can we expect to see that out? Where are you in the process?
We've just finished up the tracking.
Yep, it's
We're-
in mixing right now.
Yeah.
So we're doing it up at Sound 81 in Parkville, and it's a 4-song EP, and it just sounds massive. It's great. We're really excited about it. And then we'll go through the process of duplicating it and hopefully doing a vinyl release. And
Oh, fun.
yeah, exactly, because that's how we listen to music.
Yeah.
And we'll be hopefully releasing that at the end of summer, early fall. Kind of cool to do a Halloween release.
It'd be very cool to do a Halloween release.
Yeah.
It'll be like the big trick or treat show. People, they'll have to discover if they like it or not. I'm like,
I feel like
"This
you
sucks."
have so many ideas, just
Yeah.
other side acts that
Yep.
you guys can do.
Exactly. It's all the coffee.
How do you try to keep most of your stuff local? Like, do you try to keep production and keep everything in Kansas City?
Yes.
Yeah,
Is
definitely.
that a goal for you?
Yeah.
How about going on the road? Are you doing much of the touring side of things?
We haven't really
yet?
gotten out of town yet, just by virtue of we all are
You're
pretty
here.
busy with kids, and I'm in school, and
Yeah.
so our schedules haven't really been super forgiving in that way. But we would love to start doing some shows just around the Midwest and
Yeah.
venturing out a little bit.
Nice. Well, Middle of the Map is obviously a great
Yeah.
way to
Oh, absolutely.
get out there. So,
Certainly.
thank you guys so much
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great.
We'll be right back with more Behind the Spotlight after this. Don't go anywhere.
Just wants to explode, 'cause I know that I
Welcome back to Behind the Spotlight. We're here at Californo's for Middle of the Map, and we have our final band in the house, the Architects. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So, describe your music if you could put yourself in a genre.
We are a loud punk
The genre
rock
is
and
loud.
roll band.
Punk,
Yeah.
punk rock and roll.
Punk rock and roll.
rock
sounds
and
good.
roll.
Yeah.
And how long have you guys been together as a band? I know this isn't the complete band, but
We just celebrated our 20th playing together. Adam's my younger brother, and we've been playing since we were kids.
so you two have.
20?
Well, our 20th year since our first album.
Feels like 50.
Since the first album we
Wow.
ever made came out, it was almost 21 years now.
Yeah.
Been around for a long time.
So, and we were playing before that, before we made it. So
Yeah.
Very nice. What got you guys inspired and involved with music?
Oh.
in our blood,
Yeah.
we just kind of moved that way.
Couldn't stop it if we tried.
Yeah.
Just yeah, you know, we've got a lot of musicians in the family dating back to
Nice.
great uncles and
Yeah, creative.
Yeah.
So did it
genetics.
come super easy to you? Were you just naturally talented?
Nah.
Because that makes me kind of jealous if you were. Like, I wish I could be like, yeah, well, you know, my mom was Toni Braxton, so.
no, it's more like a compulsion.
You know,
Like an
for the
addiction?
amount of years that we've been playing,
Yeah.
I should be way further ahead of my time, musician-wise. So,
You're not gonna air that part though, right?
no, it's the truth.
Oh, no, it's. So technically, maybe you don't feel that. But, I mean, what has been the benefit of working on this for such a long time and as brothers?
We don't behave like most bands because we're family.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other bands it's a four-way relationship that, and if they're lucky to have some chemistry, but Adam and Brandon and I have this chemistry that just sort of, we just come together and play. And Mike's been with us for a million years. We all gel together because we've been doing it for so long.
So not a lot of brotherly roughhousing?
Not so much. No.
Not so much?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was weird when growing up and seeing other families that, you know, really
Yeah. The brothers get
gave
into it?
each other
I
hard.
can't
Yeah.
stand my brother. I hate my brother. How in the hell
Yeah.
are you in a band with
You guys
me?
weren't like that?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Huh.
Not yet.
I fought with my siblings a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of, I that's what I'm used to, is like fighting a lot. So I'm kind of, I want to know your secret.
Oh, I mean, we were taught that our brothers should be our best friends when we were kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
good-
my secret.
So I
good
can blame my
parents.
parents. That's on you.
You got any good scars? Any good battle scars?
No, but my brother does.
All right.
I threw a pair of scissors at him once, and he had to get stitches on his forehead.
That
Yeah,
happened to me too.
it's pretty bad. Like from him.
They stick out. Like that De La
I don't
Soul
remember.
record
I
with
don't
the-
remember doing it. I've blocked the memory because it was so traumatizing.
Traumatizing.
It's a terrible sister. Okay, so besides the music, I know you guys have a great show at Middle of the Map coming up, and you have a very interesting side project. Tell us about the comic book series.
Oh well, yeah. That's not a side project really. That's like the.
Oh, it is.
Instead of like we've gone in and made albums and
Yeah.
made more albums, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
This go around, so we decided on this like really weird idea where we'd make a concept album. We'd tell this kind of epic story in the form of a comic book.
Yep.
So there's 5 books that tell the complete story, and each book has a CD in the back of it with the soundtrack to that part of the story. So we've recorded like 53 songs or something.
So you got a nice book with lots of pretty pictures and
Yeah.
and a CD of music.
Like a soundtrack.
And it
Yeah.
comes out in
Like hopefully the book's cool on its own and the
Yeah.
album's cool on its own, but altogether it should, you know, do something
Interesting.
special. Yeah.
Was that a goal for you? Was that something that just kind of fell in your lap and you thought, this is
It's been
interesting?
a huge undertaking.
Well, yeah,
But,
it sounds like it.
And we've had a couple of successful internet campaigns where our fans have helped us fund
Nice.
the manufacture of it. So
Yeah.
What do you hope people get out of something like that?
You know,
I hope they love the music, and I hope that they, I hope they get it and have fun reading it, and it doesn't, fly over their heads or
Yeah. Like the immediate concern
Yeah.
is like, this is a weird idea. I hope
Yeah.
people get it, and I hope it works like it's supposed to. But on a larger scale, it's like I'd like to think that it's in line with other stuff like when the Who made the Quadrophenia
Okay.
a movie
Yeah.
that they soundtracked, and Tommy, and when like the existence of the band Devo being this thing that's larger than the music, this larger than the band itself.
Sure.
Kind of.
Well, it sounds like it's more than just a branding thing. It's more than just this is who we are and we want to cash in on it. It's almost like
Oh, it's like the opposite.
you want
We're
to
just-
exactly. That's what that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get at. Is it's more obscure. It's not we're trying to appeal to the masses and fit into a little box and do this thing.
Yeah.
You're kind of trying to do something really unique and risky and different. And I wonder if maybe it's just a different form of entertainment. I mean,
Well,
at the very least, somebody
Yeah.
who
Well, we're-
appreciates that.
We've always been underdogs in
Yeah.
one way or another, and this just kind of cements that for the last couple of years. The next few is like, yeah, we're going to do something really hard, and you're going to have to explain, you essentially have to read a couple of paragraphs of explanation to each person that gives a weird look. What
They're like,
is that
so
on
what
the
are you doing?
Yeah, do you have a CD I can buy? Yes, it's this
Yes,
thing
and
that doesn't look like
also-
a CD, but let me explain it.
people are like,
Oy.
what is this?
I like
1984
that.
tour book?
Yeah.
I like that. That's really unique. And when will this last installation?
Well, this is
Installment
what we're working on right
come
now
out?
is the third of
The
5.
third of 5. Okay.
So I'd like to think that we'd have it by sometime in the fall, hopefully.
Okay.
The illustrations are being worked on still right now, and then it has to get
And just quickly, what's
duplicated.
it called? What's the
Border
name?
Wars.
Border Wars. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank
The
you.
architects.
Thanks.
And a big thank you to Californos for having us out here for this very special episode of Behind the Spotlight, Middle of the Map edition. See you next time on Behind the Spotlight.
I wanna be a rock and roller. I wanna be